If I were interviewing Clarence right now,
Yeah.
what would he have to say about the show, about his favorite things, just anything?
Mm. I'll probably say that my favorite things is my friends and when we get to play together and also I like pizza poppers and Rough Riders tickets.
All right. Where do I start? It is so cool to finally be able to talk to you. Um, I am a massive fan of Clarence, obviously. I don't think
Cool.
that needs to be said. But man, just talking to you and seeing like all the stuff that you're involved in, it's so magical. And you've been a part of my life for a better half of 6.5 years. And it's just, I can't thank you enough for all of the magic and all of the kindness you've brought into my life. So thank you so much.
Cool. Well, yeah, I mean it was a really fun project to work on and so I'm glad people like it so much and that you like it so much.
Absolutely. And I mean, you as a person too. I feel like a lot of your own personal projects, regardless of Clarence, they've um they've reached really cool heights, and I'm just glad to be able to know you as a person. So that's really cool.
Thanks. Yeah.
But let's get into the interview to start off.
Okay.
My first question I have here is what was the most challenging scene or episode for you when voicing Clarence and why?
Hmm. Um, I was originally thinking about voicing Balance and how it was like really hard on my throat, but voicing Clarence, that's a good question. I think, I mean, I know like I remember like choking up at like recording the last like bits of dialogue in the episode where it's like not the video store episode, but like the final one where the school year's ending
Yeah.
with Sumo and Jeff. And I remember like feeling like, oh man, it's really over, like when we were
Yeah.
recording that and feeling choked up about it. But I don't know. I mean, it when I started, it was all really challenging just because I hadn't done a lot of voice work before.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it was just a matter of like watching the pros around me, like and feeling lucky that I got to work with people like Tom Kenny and everyone else on the show, and just kind
Yeah.
of watching them and seeing what they do and kind of learning through osmosis of, oh, okay, that's how I'm supposed to be doing this. Um,
Yeah.
but but yeah, I mean, because I had already been writing on the show, I felt like I knew the tone really well of the characters and the type of dialogue we wanted and all of that. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I think just the actual voice acting took some practice.
That's amazing. I love that. I remember that last episode more than anything. I think all of us probably do. Oh my gosh, when it ended, I was a little bit choked up too. That's my thing because I love the characters. I love the portrayal that everybody's put out there. Obviously, Tom Kenny was Sumo and Jeff, which I've actually been watching the Goldbergs as well for a long time, ever since that show.
Sean's in that, yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool to see like how many awesome things y'all are able to do.
Yeah, I mean, with Sean too, like I know he's in gosh, what is it called? The show with the aliens.
Yes, I'm spacing the name right
He's
now
really,
too.
yeah, I'm spacing on that, but he's really great in that show too, and it's just cool to see him doing so much more stuff. I just saw a post about a live action film that he's in that looks interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, that's so cool.
because he was
Um,
like a kid, like he was really young when he started on Clarence, so it's crazy
yeah,
to see.
He really did
Um,
kind of grow up with the show. And I mean, he did that all across entertainment, which is really cool to see. How did you approach the evolution of Clarence's character over the seasons?
yeah, I feel like when we first started, obviously like taking over the voice, I originally was kind of imitating the original Clarence voice, and then I think after that, I kind of made it my own a little bit. But I feel like when we started, we were portraying the characters as like really young,
Yeah.
because they are really young. But
Yeah.
it almost feels like as the show went on, they almost grew up a little bit with the show like the characters, they didn't age, but like it just felt
Yeah.
like we kind of did a lot more with them and got them out in the world on their own a lot more and all
Yeah.
of that. But we tried to maintain the consistency of the characters too, where like Clarence always would have this positive attitude and approach everything in this kind of naive, playful way, and try to be helpful even if people didn't want his help and that kind of thing. So I feel like hopefully the characters maintain that consistency too. But yeah, I would say that that's kind of more or less the evolution with the character. I think like we also just experimented a lot with types of storytelling, which was really fun, where we're like, this one will be like a sitcom, this episode will be like an action movie, we'll do like a parody of like a horror film here. So I
Yeah.
think that was another way that we like as the show went on, we experimented a lot more with like the format too.
Hmm.
Um and like just becoming a little more like meta with it in a way that was fun.
Yeah. That's so cool. Oh man. Were there any improvisations or ad libs that made it into the final cut that you're particularly proud of?
I will say there's like a lot of ad-libbing in general in the show. Like we would usually do like everyone had a few passes of dialogue recording where it was scripted, and then we would do another one where like kind of make it your own. And something really special about the show that doesn't always happen is we got everyone together as much as we could as a cast to record in the same booth at the same time. So we got to kind of ad lib together and work off of each other. Because a lot of times it'll just be everyone's recorded separately and then it's edited together later, which
Ab-
like doesn't always give the most like organic feeling dialogue, which is kind of something we wanted. Like we wanted the kids to talk how kids actually talk.
Right.
Um, one thing I can remember is like there's the swimming pool episode where Clarence is like really excited and the dialogue just kind of like devolves into making sounds. And like I feel like I did a long take that they ended up using and like crafting a little segment around, which was fun.
Love.
Um, where he's just like all this spittle is coming out because he's like so excited he can't talk. And like I feel like that's one I can remember, but I feel like there's got to be just a ton of like anytime someone kind of sounds like they flub a line, but it seemed like it would fit the scene or the character, we would leave it in. We're like, oh, that's funny. Like it makes it feel a little more human in a way that we like.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so perfect. Oh, I love it. How did
Oh,
the
I should also say that sorry, before you go on,
okay.
the video store episode was like entirely improvised dialogue.
Really
Um
the one
so that one,
with Brendan Small and the
yeah. Yeah, so that one we did like a very loose outline. And we had like some story beats we wanted to hit where it's like, okay, they go to the video store, they can't decide what kind of movie they want to watch, da da da.
oh,
And then I wrote a list of like fake movie titles that we thought were funny, like just made up ones that, and then we all went in the booth and like if we like didn't know what to say, we could just reference that list. Oh, I wanted to rent this. But other than that, it was all ad-libbed and it was like I want to say like crazy amount, like hours of audio that our showrunner Stephen Neary had to like edit down to 11 minutes, which was really impressive because it was just so much. But yeah, it was me and Tom Kenny and Sean Gambroni, who's Jeff, and then Brennan Small, and then I think we brought Katie Crown in later to do some audio, like for the like some of the stuff that plays on the actual TV when they're in the video store.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that one was all ad lib, so that one is a huge example of that.
It's so incredible. I knew I saw something with that episode because at first I had never seen anything with home movies. And then
Oh, okay.
yeah, like as I got older, I was kind of like getting into the more adult animation stuff and then started watching home movies and then I started tying it back. I'm like, "Oh, that
Hmm.
those characters look the same."
Yeah, home movies was definitely like a huge favorite of mine and like a big influence on a lot of the stuff in Clarence where it's like I related to because as a kid we would get like a home video camera and me and my friends would make movies and I feel like some version of that has ended up in like everything I've worked on where it's like there's an episode of 12 Forever where it's about home video camera stuff. I think there's
Yeah.
multiple Clarence things like that. Like there's one called Clarence the Movie where it's all from the POV of like a home video camera where it keeps cutting like a found footage type thing. I want to say there's another thing I worked on where there's one of, Victor and Valentino, we did
Mm,
one like that too, where it was like a horror, like almost like Blair Witch Project style episode.
that's
And
awesome.
then there was a Clarence short that's also kind of like that too. That's like a called Lonely Lonnie, where they're in the treehouse. That's another like found footage style thing. So, big home movies influence there for sure. And then also just like kids hanging out and being weird and
Love it.
uh, all that stuff. I feel like it was an influence for me
Can't be
in
more proud
Clarence
of
writing.
that. I'm one of those weird kids making movies, so
Oh
it's
yeah, that's how
it's
it should be.
inspiring. It's so inspiring to see that really come
Yeah.
to fruition and have people like you up there really pushing um that prerogative. But how did the collaboration with the other voice actors and the creators shape the show's unique humor and style?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's always fun to when you get to the stage where there's voice actors in the booth and they really bring the character to life and like, you might imagine a scene going one way, but they could be way funnier than you expect it to be, or the way they're reading it is different than what you thought it would be like. I think a lot about like Roger Craig Smith. He was the voice of Percy and Belson on the show, and
Yeah.
I mean, so many things as those characters he would ad lib that were so funny. Same goes for Katie Crown, who did the voice of Clarence's mom and teacher. Eric Edelstein, who was the voice of Chad. Everybody. I mean, Sumo's dad was voiced by John DiMaggio, who's also the voice of Bender and Jake the dog. So everyone in there was like, I think we would try to get people like we didn't want it to turn into like an SNL Simpsons like celebrity of the week type thing, but
Yeah.
we would try to get like if there was somebody, usually they would have like a comedy background, improv background, someone who was like comfortable with that type of thing because there was a lot of room for that in the show. Um, like we had Amy Sedaris in an episode who in the pig chase episode rather. Um, yeah, like we always try to cast that way where we're like, okay, this is someone who's like maybe their voice won't be immediately recognizable and to kind of take you out of it. Like, so we wanted to maintain this idea that it's like a real town with real kind of grounded characters and stuff. So that
Yeah,
was
gotta
always
tell you,
part of it for us.
I totally got that. That the
Cool.
authenticity of the show and the way it kind of reaches to me in my own childhood, I feel like it was ripped straight from my memories. That's what's crazy about this show. And I mean, I've used it as a comfort show for years. So in all of my moments of turmoil, angst, anxiety, I just throw it on and I'm like, just be like Clarence, man. Just love people.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like all of us sourced our own childhood memories for a lot of it too, where we're like, okay, well, what's something you experienced as a kid that you remember that you haven't really seen on TV, or if you have, like, there's kind of like the cheesy like TV version of it, and like how does it really go down?
Um,
So yeah, and then just from like, besides that, just like kind of the nostalgia of like going to an arcade or like having, growing up like maybe without like a lower income family and like having to use coupons at the store and things like that. Like we would always talk about how it seems like a lot of cartoon characters have like this like endless supply of money. They can do anything. They can wear any costume and go anywhere and all that. And like that was a big thing with this, where we're like, okay, if Clarence wears a costume, it should look like stuff he found in like his mom's closet or like in the attic or whatever, and pieced it together with cardboard. And um, yeah, we always wanted it to feel like grounded in that way. So
That's
definitely
awesome.
intentional.
That's so cool. Are there any behind the scenes stories or moments that stand out to you from the production of Clarence?
Oh man. Let me think. I feel like we were just, it was so fun. And like, that's another thing. The show is great because of all the different people that worked on it, and not just voices, but like from like designers to production to writers, storyboard artists, everybody was like putting their all into it, and having a fun time. I remember there was one episode where we were thinking about like doing a Clarence Gets Sick episode, and then we were talking about this idea that like he puts root beer in a humidifier, and like we thought that was like a funny concept, and we did it in the writers' room, and it just stunk like candy for like a while after that. And we're like, okay, maybe this was a bad idea. Why did we do this? But I just remember like so many moments of like just play and having fun, um, and we were always just kind of trying to create like a fun environment for everybody. And like there's this pizza place, Big Mama, Big Papa's Pizza out here, and like they have a challenge to eat this like gigantic pizza, and so we did that as a crew once. Couldn't finish it. It's real thick, doughy pizza.
That's
But just doing like silly things, like I think kind of maintain the spirit of the show too, where it's like Clarence, I feel like is kind of like a yes, like the movie Yes Man, of just like saying yes to everything,
yeah,
doing these crazy insane things, and like um I feel like we had a lot of fun on that crew because of that. I mean, I'll also say, just back to like experimenting with the form, there are stop motion sequences that were animated just in the offices because we didn't have the budget to hire out like a stop motion studio. So like
that's
in
impressive.
Jeff's new toy, when it cuts to that sequence of like the raccoon and the toy breaking and all that, like those were
Yeah,
just cutouts that were made in the office and animated by people on the show. Similarly, like the one where they get detention, or no, they have to come into school, and they have the hermit crab. And anyway,
yeah,
there's like a moment where they're in the nurse's office and Sumo looks into Clarence's ear, which like was always a joke because he doesn't have an ear. It's just like a
yeah.
line. But it's like I was like, what if it just opens up like a hole, like a bird or like a like something like that. But anyway, there's a stop motion sequence there, and I remember Stephen Neary like just labor of love animating all of that in the offices. So
Impressive.
there's a lot of stuff like that where it was kind of like, all right, how are we going to make this work? And uh, how are we going to do this within whatever budget we have? And
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it was
I'm
really cool.
such
I'm always impressed to see stuff like that on that show.
I'm such a big fan of stop motion and all of that kind of like personalized stuff you guys put in there. I definitely noticed pretty much every bit of it because I myself, how I use stop motion animation, I love Legos and I've been using them for
Cool.
years, which is amazing. But yeah, I'm very familiar with that and the South Park kind of style of putting construction paper cutouts and making them move around. It's so cool to see that y'all still have that personalized energy to this. That's really amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
what were some of your favorite episodes or moments from the show that really stood out to you?
Hmm. One I would say is there's an episode called Tuckered Boys where they all try to stay up real late to see I think it's like a meteor shower, and
I remember
or
that.
like a comet or something like that, and they all start hallucinating because of the lack of sleep. And Lindsay and Alex Small Butera, who they made a web series called Batman Piderman, um, but they were like guest animators for every time the sequences got really like psychedelic and crazy.
That's
So
awesome.
that I really loved that episode. I think Balance is a personal favorite just because it's so strange and like it
Yeah.
doesn't really it felt like one of the first times where we kind of broke the rules of our show where we're like, oh, let's just do this weird thing that makes us laugh that like doesn't feel like a Clarence episode. It just feels like it's like suddenly some other universe or something.
Yeah, that
Um,
was the only episode that I was ever like, whoa, what's going on?
yeah. Lil Buddy, I like that one a lot. I love the montage in that and the song that Simon Panrucker, one of our composers that did a lot of music for the show, did. It was like a parody of a song from Toy Story 2, one of the Toy Story movies.
Randy
It's like
Newman.
like a fake Randy Newman song. I love that whole sequence. I believe Stephen Neary storyboarded it with who would it have been? Uh, 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 uh oh my gosh, I can't believe Nikki Yang,
Yeah,
BMO on Adventure Time. Nikki, yeah, she was a board artist and then a director on Clarence as well. She's like super talented artist. Um, that one is great. I don't know. We did so many. There's like over 100, so like I'll forget some, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, that one. Oh, there's the one where it was almost like a Don Bluth parody where it was Percy collecting animals in Clarence's garage.
I do
um,
remember that one.
I,
That was a
I
good
I
one.
love all the animation in that. This animator Toniko, I think, was the one who did a lot of like special animation for that. What else? Yeah, I don't know. I think the zoo episode. I mean, the early ones, like the first like 10 or so, I think are really great. Yeah, I don't know. It was just a fun time. There's so many ones that were so fun to work on and just
That,
to be surprised by as well. Like just, oh, that's so funny how that came out, or it was always such a thrill to see like what everyone else was doing on the show. Yeah.
that's so cool. I have to bring up the Goldfish Follies episode.
Oh
That
yeah,
is
that one. Yeah.
amazing. And also just in general, Sumo's animation whenever he gets like a little cranky or something's wrong.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he gets
Yeah.
all I can't.
Yeah, him
Oh
getting
no.
all crazy and scribbly. Yeah, that I think that just came out of trying to make ourselves laugh, like editing in the animatic, and we're like, oh, what if we just cut swim and it's this like real weird. I think
It's
the original
so
one was drawn like all with a computer mouse, like real crappy.
it's so accurate to real life of how sometimes when I'm just trying to explain something to somebody and they don't understand and it's just uncomfortable, but oh my God, it's so cool. Were there any particular influences or inspirations that shaped the show's overall tone and humor?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we would talk a lot about early Simpsons, like season 1 through 3, like when it was a little more kind of grounded. King of the Hill, Recess,
Yeah.
um, stuff like because it was like kind of at the height of Adventure Time's popularity, which is a great show, but like very fantastical. And so I think it was a response to that of like, let's make like a kind of 90s kids style, like grounded show. So like Doug and Hey Arnold and all that kind of stuff. I think those were all at least like in the back of our minds a lot of the time. But for me personally, I mean, like I love stuff like Tim and Eric and Strangers with
Yeah.
Candy and like all this like kind of weird adult comedy stuff, which did influence me. Like, there's a thing that happens a lot in like Tom Goes to the Mayor and Tim and Eric Awesome Show where it'll start with like a fake ad for a product, and
Mhm.
then later on in the episode that will return somehow in the plot, especially in Tom Goes to the Mayor. And I did that twice on Clarence. Like there's Little Buddy starts with a cold open with like a fake ad for the doll. And then I stole that for Jeff's New Toy starts with a fake toy ad at the beginning. So that was like straight from Tom Goes to the Mayor.
So
And then Strange with Candy, there's an episode where Jerry Blank is like interested in a student who's blind and then like ties a like kerchief around her eyes to be blind for a day, and that was a huge influence on Puddle Eyes. So there's definitely like unexpected influences as well. I'm sure for a lot of people, like 'cause those shows are like tonally very different than Clarence, but still things that I like.
that's so cool. Man, I have to say again, I'm completely starstruck by you. I have to say, because
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you.
I
I'm just
just
some
feel,
guy.
hey, just a guy
Uh,
who's a legend in my book, the GOAT.
well, thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
I tell everybody about it too. I all the time I'm always like, if you ever have children, please make them watch Clarence. It is probably the most wholesome show other than SpongeBob's wholesome, but
Yeah, SpongeBob's great. SpongeBob, yeah, that's another one. I don't think Clarence would exist without SpongeBob, like character
Bro.
wise, even as the two big teeth, like,
Yeah. I mean,
it's like a line from like Pee Wee Herman to SpongeBob to Clarence, like direct dotted line.
so cool, man. I just can't get enough of it. All the time I think about it. And I use Clarence and all the characters and the fun, like wholesome, kind moments in those shows to kind of use real life moments, if you will, that happen. And it's kind of hard to prove that those really good, solid friends and family have those moments where it's super
Mm,
real and raw. I feel like on television in general, it's hard to prove that. But
yeah,
um, were there any particular influences? Oh, I think I already asked that one. Sorry.
no worries.
Um,
Okay.
how did you navigate the balance, LOL, between comedy and heartfelt moments in the show?
Um, I think that I'm someone who's like very like comedy first. Like I
Yeah,
love comedy and like everything should just be funny. And so I think having, like people like Stephen Neary and others on the show, like, you know, just balance that out and make sure that we have, like we never wanted to get too wacky and crazy where we're like, oh, this doesn't really feel like what we are setting out to do. I think something we all really loved about the show was the moments that felt more grounded and felt like real life. And, you know, whether it's about Clarence's relationship with his friends or his teacher or other students or his mom, or exploring like different types of family dynamics. I think like the sumo ones would always get a little more grounded for whatever reason, like the dreamboat and his episode with his dad in the multi-part Stormy sleepover series. I think for whatever reason he was a character that was easier to write a little more grounded because like Clarence is just so silly and Jeff is like very neurotic. But yeah, we never wanted to lose that balance. So I think sometimes we would definitely go a little crazier and wackier with it, but we always wanted to feel like, okay, we're saying something underneath this. Like, what are we trying to say with this episode? Was a question we would ask a lot.
absolutely. Um, Looking back, what are you most proud of when it comes to your work on Clarence?
I think, um, I don't know. I mean, I think we just got to I feel like I'm proud that we got to push a lot of boundaries in terms of like experimenting with animation and types of storytelling. Um, I'm really proud that we were able to just do so many episodes. There were so many times during the show's production that were bumpy and we didn't know like, is this gonna keep going or are they gonna end it? So I think just the fact that we kept pushing beyond that. Yeah, really proud of the writing. I think a lot of times because I did the voice, like that's the first thing people think of. But I was a writer on most of the show
I can
from the
totally tell, by
beginning.
the way.
Oh, thanks. And then, I was the head writer for like a lot of it. And I think that was also partially my job of just making sure like as writers came and go, like we were maintaining that consistency and it still felt like the show. And I would rewrite dialogue if I felt like, oh, okay, this isn't exactly how that character would say it, or this seems a little could because you could use a little tweaking here or there. And I think I'm just, I learned so much because I was not experienced at all when I started, and so I think that show, um, I'm really proud of how much I learned. I think I still have a lot to learn, but everyone does. But I think I really cut my teeth on that show, so to speak.
Perfect example of what you should be to your friends and to your family and to
Yeah, I will say though, sometimes I'm like, oh, you should just leave Belson alone. He doesn't want you
yeah,
around.
Right? Right?
Like he's not always perfect. I'm like sometimes I'm like Clarence, you're annoying him. Like but he doesn't realize it. He's like, oh, this is my best friend, and he wants me here, and he needs my help. And
Probably
Belle's
not
like, come on,
Bells.
I don't want your help.
Oh
Oh
man.
man.
Well, let me take this opportunity to thank you for all of the years of joy and pure just comfort. You and all of the writers of the show and all of the voice actors, everybody have given to us, the fans, for so many years. And I gotta say, I wish the show lasted at least 20 years longer. But
I will say though, like something I really do like about it is like it didn't go on like too long where like
right,
you know how
I
shows that
noticed
go on
that.
forever the quality kind of dips like there's a few
Yeah,
some of my favorite shows were only like 2 3 seasons and like that was it and I'm like you know what maybe that's why I like them is like they didn't
yeah.
go on for 100 years and then I kind of got burnt out on them or whatever like you know the quality can kind of go down sometimes so
That cutoff
I'm
is
like
just
you know what it's a good amount right we did a
yeah.
lot with it I don't know.
It's perfect. Honestly, the way it ends is really how I see my own childhood memories ending at that point. One of our friends goes
Mm.
off to another school, and then we just plan to hang out for the summer, and that's just kind of where it ends. I feel like it just goes off into so many different things from that, and it just, oh, man.
Yeah, I think I always wanted it to feel like if you were a kid watching it, that it's like, oh, well, that world still exists out there somehow, you know, like these characters could still be going on adventures, whatever. Like we didn't want it to have some like big finale, like kind of definitive, it's done ending like that. But sometimes I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to make a little like TV movie or something, but I don't know like in what world that would happen. But maybe if there was a good enough idea for it or something. But
Oh, man.
also, I'm fine with it just being done. That's fine.
Dude, I'm telling you on my own, if I could fund it and just give you guys all the money so I could see it. I would in a heartbeat. That's like the one thing.
Yeah. It's also that thing of like when there's a reboot of something and it's like, oh, like so many people on that crew have like gone on to do different things and like it would be hard to recapture that same feeling again. Like, you know, uh it's always that thing of like it's you don't want it to be too different, but you don't want it to be boring where it just feels like a retread of the same thing. And like, you know, because there's so many reboots and remakes right now. Like, there's like new Adventure Time stuff. Like, you name it, there's a new one coming.
Yeah,
You know, and so I'm
literally.
like, I just want to make new stuff,
Yeah, that
make something new.
that totally makes sense. I
We'll
mean,
see. We'll see. I'm trying. I've been like pitching things with friends, so it'd be
oh,
cool if something happens. That would be exciting, but who knows?
you already know if I see a Spencer name, I'll be watching 100%.
Well, thank you. Thanks.
Your work is absolutely perfect. I have no notes for you. I really
Oh,
don't.
thanks so much. Well, like I said, it's a collaboration, so it's anything you like about Clarence is not just me, but like a whole team of a lot of awesome people like making it what it is. So that's
Absolutely.
the cool thing about animation. It's like you're always collaborating with other people
Yeah, so many amazing souls come together to make something truly there and real. And that's something I just can't get enough of or appreciate enough, especially in the world we live in now. I think we really
for
need
sure.
stuff like Clarence.
Yeah. Trying to think of like other like stuff. I guess like I think a lot about like Joe Pera talks to you. Is that what it's called? Joe Pera
Yes,
talks to you.
yes.
That
Yeah,
show is very like kind of wholesome in its own way and like weird and sweet.
yeah.
And kind of like calming, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
I would give
but
that description as well. Uh,
yeah, it's always fun to find stuff like that.
yeah, I find it so cool too that years later down the road, I can pick up stuff like home movies and then think about it a little bit and be like, weren't, didn't they do? Hold on. Could have sworn I saw Brendan in the video store and that was a tieback. And I look and I'm like, oh my God, it's real. Everybody's there. It's so cool.
I think there's a Coach McGurk picture on the wall in the video store too, so they got him in there as well.
I love that so much. I've also seen a couple videos on YouTube where they reanimate the Clarence characters into a
Oh
whole
yeah, as whole movie.
style.
Yeah, those are really cool. I've seen those too. Yeah, those
God,
look
what I
great. It
wouldn't give
looks just
to
like the
have
show.
what I wouldn't give to have Clarence, Jeff, and Sumo show up in a home movies episode and start talking to Brendan. But yeah, I think that is all I really have for you. Um,
Okay.
this was one of the most amazing conversations I've ever had. Uh,
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
yeah, I hold my time pretty valuable, and I know you do too, obviously. You have to. So that I just can't thank you enough. I really
Of
can't.
course.
I wish I could thank you more for everything or say something more like I just can't find the words.
No, it's okay. I feel it. I really I appreciate it. That I was able to work on something that's like connected with people on that level and like hopefully influences people to make stuff too, you know? Because that's everything I like led me to here, you know, everything I watched as a kid, movies and TV and music and everything. So hopefully if Clarence can have that effect on people and they go out and make cool stuff too, then that's great.
Well, I really appreciate all of the time you've given me here, Spencer. This has
Of
been
course.
fantastic. Everybody who's watching this recording, this is for the end of the video. Please make sure to follow Spencer on all socials. Please check out Clarence. Check out everything he does. He is one of the best people I've ever met by a long shot.
Oh, thank you.
That'd
Yeah, and hopefully look forward to some more stuff by me in the future. Who knows, but it would be cool.
be so awesome. I'll definitely be keeping
Yeah,
an eye out for sure.
awesome.